I'm going to tell you a story, and forgive me for being redundant on this because it illustrates some things. This would have been probably, I don't know, however many years ago, a handful of years ago, 2 or 3 or 4. I'm at a dinner. I'm in Cincinnati, and I'm at a dinner at a seminar, and we're sitting around. There's the seminar team and volunteers from the city and stuff, 6 or 8 people. And this lady's kind of talking, and she says, I just never know. I didn't know that I'd be doing what I'm doing now at this point in my life. She says, I'm 3 or something. And she said, I thought I'd be married and have kids by now. She said, but God hasn't chosen that for me. Somebody else is laughing. And it kind of perked up my ears a little bit because I'm into God and how he does things. And I thought, why do you say that? And she says, well, because he hasn't brought that person into my life that I'm supposed to marry. And then she says, or he hasn't given me the feelings for the people that he has brought into my life. And now she's got my attention. Okay? And I said, what do you mean he hasn't given you the feelings? And she says, because that's what God does. He brings the right person into your life that you're supposed to marry, or he gives you the feelings that you would need, to fall in love with the people around you that he brings. And, all sorts of bells, theological bells, psychological bells, all sorts of things are going off in my head because I knew her, and I thought maybe that, there were some other reasons why this was happening. And some of you get that. And I said, well, no, wait a minute. God didn't give you the feelings. Whose feelings are these, yours or God's? She says, what are you talking about? I said, well, how do you know that he hasn't brought 10 good people into your life and that you're incapable of feeling the right feelings for them? Like you have a block, for example, that would not allow you maybe to fall in love with a good guy, that you only go for psycho, whatevers. And she's like, well, no, and she's sort of defensive about this. And so the point is, I won't tell the whole story, but the point was that she really was kind of blaming all of this on God. And I said, well, how long has it been since you had a date? And she said, well, I can't remember if it was either 2 or 3 years. Now, ostensibly, that should not have been true. She's intelligent, outgoing, personable, attractive, smart, all of this stuff. And that shouldn't have been the case. And so I said, well, I don't understand why that's true. And she goes back to the God thing. And it reminded me of a lady that called on the radio one day and said, I don't believe you should be talking about dating and people going out and this, that, and the other to find their mate and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, why don't you like dating? And she says, well, it's the same thing. Well, I believe that God will bring the person to me. And I said, you don't have to do anything? What was that? Was that you that called in that day? No, I didn't hear. What did somebody say? Oh, well. They're repentant, I guess. She said, he's just going to bring this person. And I said, well, do you have to do anything? She says, no, I trust God enough that it's God's responsibility to provide for me. And I said, well, do you have to go outside? I mean, do you have to, do you have any part in this? And she says, I believe, and it sounds so spiritual, God's going to bring the person to me. And I said, well, if you don't want to marry the FedEx guy or a Jehovah's Witness, you better leave the house. Really. And that's kind of what I was thinking about this woman, that there were some things that she was contributing to this. So I said, you don't look for a job that way, do you? It's just going to show up at your house or think God's going to bring it, or, a church or friends or anything. You've got a part to play in this. And so she's bugged at me at this point. And what she says is, you're blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember what she said, but she's bugged. And I issued her a challenge. And what I said was, look, let me be your dating coach. And if you'll do whatever I tell you, and I demand perfect obedience, you have to do everything I tell you. I won't ask you to do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical, but you have to do everything I tell you, and I guarantee you'll be dating in 6 months.